Okay, so this here is the latest member of my tool family. It is a Stihl 2-stroke weed eater set. It's a KM 131 combination motor. So you get this here weed eater section. There's a chainsaw section, looks like a 12-inch chainsaw. You get a brush cutter section, and you can see the blade, 4-toothed blade under the cover. And then here is a sidewalk trimmer. You get grass along the edge of the sidewalk. So I guess a sidewalk edger is what it is. So it is a 2-stroke motor, 36.3 cubic centimeters, 1.9 horsepower, and it's 2-stroke, so it takes a 50-to-1 mix of oil to fuel. And this is the stuff that you put in your fuel. It's pre-measured, so you get a 6-pack of these, and then the Stihl will automatically double your warranty from 2 years to 4 years. And so I bought a 2.5-inch fuel can, and it's a 2.5 gallon fuel can, so it's the perfect size to match with those oil containers. So one of those to one of these, and 2.5 gallons of gas, and you're good to go. Okay, so I will give it a try here later on. First I have to do some mowing. These are the manuals that come with the Stihl Multi Lawn Care Kit. This here is the main menu here, main manual. The Stihl KM 111R, 131R. I've got the 131R, and it's a motor with a shaft on it, and then there's a connector here to multiple types of attachments. And then it comes with a screwdriver and a multi-tool here. It's got a Torx at this end, a wrench here, and a wrench there, or socket. So it has a pretty good clear manual to it. This here is the chainsaw directions, and that is the Stihl HT-KM. And I'm not sure if I will be able to use that today because there are cars in the way, but it does come with an extra chain and the wrench in there as well. Then we have the Stihl FCS-KM, and that is the sidewalk edger. You see that there. And it also comes with a tool and safety glasses. And edger tends to kick a lot of stuff up, so you definitely want to be using safety glasses when you run that. And this is the other piece here. This is I actually have both of these pieces. There's the Stihl FS-KM. There's the Stihl FS-KM. Just had the usual GoPro cutout on me for some reason. Okay, so that is the weed eater head here and a brush cutting head there. So that is the whole kit. Obviously now the engine for this is a 2-stroke engine, so you're going to want to wear earplugs with that. And alright, so that's about it. Let me put on my GoPro headgear, and we will go and whack some weeds. Let's fire it up. Make sure this hangs properly first. The strap is fairly simple to adjust. You just need to pull on the locking device a little bit and it will slide fairly easily, and you see I have a pretty good length set on it now. Okay, that should do it. Alright, put her down, turn to choke, and pull the cord. I'll be muting the sound of the motor for the most part, except for here, so that you can hear what it actually sounds like. Kind of has that Harley Davidson rumble to it. And it has pretty good power. Okay, so I've turned the volume down a little bit, and you can see the weed eater. It does a pretty good job of chewing out all the weeds that are up against the house, and you do need to kind of be careful with the string on it, because if you hit something big, it will rip out or break the string very easily. And so I try to go in slowly when I'm going to hit like a blackberry vine, but often, more times than not, it breaks the string, like now. So it's pretty simple to pop the top here. You just pull out a key or anything that can be used to release the catches. And I found that the spool is very easy to unroll, and the holes for the string have a slot in the top. And I like that feature too, because it makes it very, very easy to get the string in. You don't have to fuss and fumble with it so much like others.
Let's see how that works.
Okay, so we're gonna slip the strap over my head and shoulder again and start her up. Very easy to start. It starts so far every time on the first pull.
Okay, let's pop this open again.
This is the second time.
Stick a key in the slot. Stick a key in that slot. Okay. Pull it up.
So this is in real time. You see how quick and easy it is to work with this string. I've used other weed eaters that are just a very difficult thing to work with. See how the string goes right straight down the slot into the hole, and that is a really good idea Stihl had. It makes it much easier to get the string set. Make sure you hold the spool down all the time. You don't want it popping out, because then you'll have the string will pop out and unspool for you.
Okay.
And now we are going to go get some more. This time I am being even more careful to not hit the big vines. I try to go in slowly to the vine and let the outer tip of the cord break apart the vine and cut through it. So you see how I tap it down, and that releases more string. But we broke the string again. This is the third time. It's a constant battle with weed eaters, that string breaking on you. And this time here, the cord did unreel on me, so I had to take the spool out and wind it back up. And then when I got the string back on, then it was easy to just slip it down into the holes again and put the cap on. Hold the spool in while you're monkeying with it. And there you go, just as easy as that. Then I have to even up the length here. So I'm just going to match up the strings and cut the excess off the one. There we go.
Okay, so you see it has a string trimmer here, which seems loose too. And it's tight, but all right.
So just once again trying to be careful with it, not taking too much at one time, just moving in slowly. Then another thing I do is I try to cut high and then come down and cut lower so that I don't have huge pieces, because later on I'm going to just go over it with the lawnmower and mulch everything. I'm into quick and easy. See, I'm tapping the head there and revving it to release more cord or string. And so it's doing a pretty good quick job with all these weeds you can see here. And releasing more string. So there are some chores where a weed eater is the only tool that will do it. You can get a brush cutter in here too. But I already had the weed eater on and I had a lot of weeding to do, so I just opted to use the weed eater instead of the brush cutter on this. So it does not take much time. The weed eater definitely makes getting rid of the brush a lot easier than if you had to do it by hand the old-fashioned way. And I think I'm about to get a break here again for my fourth break. See if I can wrangle this here in record time. The cord was stuck inside of the hole, the slot, and so I had to use a key to go down there and kind of dig it out.
Okay, got a little better performance that time.
And we're all set to go again. So now what I'm doing is I am using the weed eater to clean grass and weeds out from the cracks in the walkway. And I'll do a little bit of edging, sweeping, cleaning. But it does a pretty good job with that. You do have to kind of watch the string because it doesn't normally pull the string or snap the string, but what it does is it wears the string down real thin and then you lose it that way. Because of the string striking against the concrete on the walkway, it's like hitting a big piece of sandpaper. And it'll file itself down. But you can see that it does a pretty good job getting rid of the weeds coming out of the cracks, if not dusty. This walkway is going to be replaced here before much longer. It's all broken apart. This walkway might be from 1910. So it's had a long service life, about 112 years. So we're just going to kind of clean up around the gas meter, and that'll be that for weed eating. Now we're going to use the chainsaw.
Alright, that worked out pretty good after you kind of get the hang of it and stuff. Alright, let's pull the weed eater.
Did I say chainsaw? Yeah. I meant to say...
We're going to switch over to...
sidewalk edger.
The edger. Okay, so resetting the depth on the wheel. So the wheel has the wing nut here, and then it's got a guide there. That's the depth on it. So you can have about 1.5 inches of adjustment, maybe 2 inches. So if you look at it, I'm assuming this here's level, and so we're going to go about 1/2 inch below level. So let's see if that works better. Okay, and then our bolt is coming loose there. Let's tighten that.
That's one thing about all these tools, is you constantly have to be checking for anything coming loose on you. You would not want that edger blade flying off on you. And I really do not like this type of a vice grip. They just are not handy to use. I bought it when they first came out with these, and I've never liked them since. Okay, so here you see the edger working, and it is the wheels rolling along the grass that's grown over the sidewalk, and the blade is going down between the concrete and the sod, the turf. So we're following the edge of the walkway, the sidewalk, and it's doing a pretty good job. I'm very happy with how this edger worked. And you do have to work it quite a bit the first time you use it, because of the overgrowth of the sidewalk, the parking strip onto the sidewalk. So it does take a little extra work. Now we're using the chainsaw on the pole here, and I'm pretty happy with this thing here too. However, the blade does seem to have gotten dull pretty fast, and it also seems to cut slower than my Homelight 10-inch electric pole saw. But it's still a handy tool, because if you are working on a job somewhere away from power, this is the way to go. So that is about
the tree cut on the trunk, and we'll just pull it down this direction. Okay. Have long enough rope to stay out of the way, and here we go.
So the trunk of the tree was about 6 to 7 inches diameter, and I'm trying to pull it toward me, but the tree broke on a bounce back and it fell that way, which is fine.
And there we go.
As long as it didn't land on anyone's car. But the chain did pop out shortly after that. So I have to remove the cover, loosen up the tensioner on the bar, and then put the chain back in the bar and onto the drive wheel. So you just have to make sure you get the teeth of the chain oriented the right direction, and then put the bar back in position, put that orange cover back on, and then snug it down but not tight, then
loosen up the tensioner,
and then
so that we can get the chain bar back on.
And then tighten the cover.
Okay.
Got the bar in position, and now we're going to put on the cover.
Okay. Put the little cover back on.
When you're using this chainsaw, you want to make sure that you put bar oil in the reservoir next to the
Tight, just snug.
bar down on the head unit there. And they say that it will use about 1 tank of bar oil per tank of fuel. So you need to keep an eye on the amount of bar oil in the tank to make sure that the lubrication is going through the saw. So I'm tensioning the chain right now. You want to just tighten enough that when you pull the chain, the teeth don't go beyond the groove in the saw blade bar.
You want just tight enough that the chain doesn't come out from the bar. And then tighten that down.
And it does not appear that there is a roller on the tip of the bar either. I'll have to take another look at it, but normally you can see a roller out there.
And we're good to go.
I know my little home light saw has a roller out there. Now we're just going to trim the trunk off, get rid of all the branches on there. So this is at 3 times normal speed, and you can kind of tell that it's not cutting as fast as it should. So I'm going to have to get out the round file, rat tail file, and file those teeth on the chain to sharpen them up again. So that'll take about 20 minutes. But a sharp chain is a lot better than a dull chain, I always said. So you see I'm cutting this way and that way on the trunk, and it's just not eating through the wood. So it does finally cut through there, but it took more effort than it should have. So all in all, the saw is, the whole kit is a really nice setup. You buy the motor separately, and then you buy a weed eater. You can buy the brush cutter, the chainsaw, the edger, and they also have a blower attachment. They've got a garden tilling attachment. They have a garden edging tool. So there are a whole bunch of different adaptive tools, ends that you can buy for this thing that will do different jobs around the yard and property. So it's very handy. This whole setup here, I believe the motor was $450. The chainsaw was about $170. The sidewalk edger, I think, was $80. The weed eater was about $120. So not a bad deal on everything. Okay, thanks for watching the video, And I hope you enjoyed this tool review of the Stihl KM131R and its associated attachments. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave those. If you like the video, please do click the like button, and I will see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.